What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Scroodlebumbs.
What's up, folks? This is Todd and Justin. You are watching Scroodlebumbs, and we are playing the worst game in history, Sonic Adventure.
We are, and it is, I'm doing okay, though. The robot one is very different, and I don't mind it so much.
Now, this show has changed from terrible comedy to our political views.
Just for now.
Just for now.
Yeah, it's temporary.
Temporary.
It needs to be said.
It needs to be said.
Need more people in the good fight.
If there's anyone you should listen to, it's two grown men playing video games.
Yeah, we're an authority.
All your political advice and opinions should be taken directly from us.
Yeah, and realistically, I mean, so if you're watching this, right, and you saw last episode, and you disagree with us, you know, I just want you to know that you should feel included, but you're fucking wrong. That's all I want. That's all I want you to know.
All opinions are valid.
But no, no.
I think
not to me, not personally. I mean, yeah, you can have an opinion. I believe in your right to have an opinion, but I also very much agree with my right to think you're a fucking moron.
I think what it boils down to is what people believe, and it's a problem because not everyone believes the same thing.
Because people's belief isn't based on factual evidence anymore.
Right. But that the same can be said about. And this is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. The same could be said about religion.
Yeah.
It's not based in fact at all. It's based on what a person believes.
Yeah, and I also think that is kind of weird. I don't necessarily... I think that a lot... It's really hard to say this because it's hard to quantify it. But, like, in today's world, if you're looking at the amount of people that, like, are dying in the name of religion versus the number of people that are dying by guns, I don't know if it's necessarily proportional. Because... the people that are dying due to religious fanatics are being shot. Like, that's the problem. Yeah. So I can't really say, like, religion is not as bad as guns because they're using guns. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Anyway, what I was going to say last time was I think the thing that we need to, like, reckon with as a society is that 96% of these shooters are men.
Oh, yeah.
I think we have a problem. There's a 20-to-1 representation of men to women in our prison system, and we have the world's most prisoners. We have 37% of the world's prisoners and like 1% of its population overall. It's crazy.
I don't know if those statistics are accurate, but we definitely have.
But it's a lot.
We definitely have the highest percentage as far as per capita.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
per capita,
like,
we have the most people in prison.
We also have the most guns.
Yeah.
So, we don't have the most guns per person. There's other countries that have more guns. I think or I don't know if it's more guns or more gun deaths. There's definitely more countries with more gun deaths, like Venezuela, Honduras, El Salvador, like a bunch of other countries. It's on Wikipedia. You can find it. But the thing to me is, like, I think that a lot of these kids, like, it's like people want to talk about mental health being a factor, and like it definitely is something that we should talk about, but not for the reasons of, like, shootings happening. Mental health is something that affects people that would never do something like that. Mental health is anxiety. Mental health is
depression.
Mental health is depression. Mental health is not being able to sleep. Mental health is every day for so many people. Mental health is something that is it controls every single aspect of your life. You know, you live in your head. You are in your head. So the problem, I think, though, is a lot of people, like, we don't really... We don't know what the long-term effects of giving all our kids, like, Ritalin and shit is. Like, we started giving all the kids all these, like, drugs because they have ADHD. And, like, because they're being hyperactive.
It's like, no, they're just 8.
Yeah, they're 8.
They're just an 8-year-old. They're going to be hyper.
They're 8, and they had a lollipop, and they're bouncing off the walls because they're 8 years old, and we give them downers. We're giving our kids Quaaludes because we don't want to deal with it. Like, it's crazy. So we don't know the long-term effects of that. But on the other hand, too, we also, like, and this is somewhat of a controversial opinion. I'm going to try to say this in a way that makes sense even to people that might not identify with it right away. I think that in a lot of ways, I'll say this. One thing that I hear thrown around a lot is that all of these shootings are happening because of toxic masculinity. Right? Have you heard that?
No, I actually haven't heard that.
I absolutely have. I think a lot of people are saying, you know, these shootings are, you know, it's a lot of men, which it is.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, statistically, can't argue with that.
Yep.
People are saying, you know, it's toxic masculinity that's causing this to happen. And my first thought when I hear that, as a guy, is, okay, I've never heard anybody tell me what non-toxic masculinity is. And I don't think a lot of people are able to really say that, because I think a lot of people that are talking about toxic masculinity happen to be women, I think.
Okay.
Which isn't necessarily bad. And I think there is a lot of things that are toxic about our masculine culture. Like, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that term is thrown around willy-nilly, and we don't talk about what the broader implications of it are. So I'm getting to, I do have an overall point that I'm going to get to, I promise. So, oh yeah, shit, I went the wrong way. Oh wait, no I didn't. So, did I? Yeah, I did go the wrong way. So, basically, the problem of toxic masculinity, I hear people say like, okay, like, and this is mostly from like girls on my Facebook page, or women on my Facebook page, I should say. And they're saying like, these boys, these young men should be able to, they should be taught that it's okay to express their emotions. And that's what the problem is. And I somewhat agree with that, but I also think that a lot of people, when they say that, think, oh, well, they should, like, especially when women say it, is, I think they should have the same emotions that I do. Like, they should be allowed to feel their emotions and know that it's okay to express themselves, but they forget.
Wait, look at the way he's climbing.
Oh, I know.
Sorry.
But a lot of the time, people forget that someone's emotional state, if it's dependent on mental health, is going to be different from theirs, not to mention the emotional differences between men and women. Mm-hmm. Like, there's... that in itself is going to be enough to make people tick differently. Like, like testosterone itself leads to higher aggression.
Absolutely.
That's something that in and of itself, like, anger and aggression, that in itself, you can tie that to an emotional condition. So to say like, okay, well, they should just be allowed to express their emotion. Well, should they be allowed to be aggressive and angry? Well, I don't think those same people necessarily that are saying, well, they should just be allowed to feel things, would say that they think that they should be allowed to feel anger and that aggression. Personally, I think those guys that are having that crisis of expression, where they are not allowed to like express themselves, so to speak, need a constructive environment to be able to do that. That's why people put their kids in like martial arts, or teach them an instrument, or something to channel all of that energy from that 8-year-old that was bouncing off the walls into that confused teenager that all of a sudden is pissed off at the world. Somewhere in there, we need somewhere to let that outlet of anger go. And we're not accounting for that growth in someone's psyche, especially for young men. Like,
and I think in a way to do it with structure and safely, because a lot of boys resort to, okay, well, they'll go play football, which I play football, but the long-term effects of football, and the studies are coming out. Like, I have a guy who we played football together, and he was an angry kid, and he was less angry at the end of a football game than when he started the game. But he got a concussion, and he went back into the game, and he is not the same. Like, he can barely speak now. And this is a normal, popular, high school, good-looking dude, and his life is forever. I mean, he's not okay. He needs help 24/7. So, yeah, absolutely, an environment, an outlet where they can express themselves in a safe way, but do it in a way where they can just get it all out of their system.
Yeah, and I don't mean to generalize. I'm not trying to say that only women are saying that. I'm just saying that, like, personally, what I tend to see is, like, when people talk about toxic masculinity, you don't hear a whole lot of guys use that term because they don't understand it. They're like, okay, well, what's toxic about me being masculine? Like, and so a lot of the time guys aren't throwing that around. So that's why it sounds more generalized. I don't mean for it to sound like that, but is my point coming across?
It's coming across.
Okay.
I think there's this, I mean, the nation is so divided right now between all the different, and there's so many issues. There's an endless parade of issues right now, from climate change to transgender issues to, the income inequality and all of that stuff. And I think that one of the things that young, more conservative men are feeling is that there's like a war on men because everyone else, pretty much everyone except for like a straight, Caucasian male, can be classified as a victim. So you have a group of people feeling like, well, what the heck? Like, we also, deserve to be recognized, and I get that they might be feeling left out, which is in part why Trump won, because there were people that felt left out.
And I mean, just to clarify, and I know what you mean, there is no war on men. Like, there's not. Like,
but I feel like some people may think that there is, or feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. I know. I just want to make sure that that's clear to anybody watching. Yeah. So for the folks at home, it's I don't know. Dude, stuff's weird. Stuff's really weird right now. I don't know. Well, this is stage 5. We're almost done with the robot guy. I feel like we should get lighter. We've had 2 heavy episodes. Yeah. So I think we should like try to be a little bit more, I don't know, What do people tune into Scroodlebumbs for?
Probably like stupid reactions and facial expressions and.
Probably. Yeah. All right. So what we're gonna do?
Although,
go ahead.
we asked the question, what do people tune into Scroodlebumbs for?
We don't
Our
know.
average video has like 10 views
Right now.
So like at the time of we're recording this. So what should we do to get we need to be fun and light and fluffy, but also be entertaining to the people.
So what you're saying is maybe our niche becomes political talk video games. Maybe that's our.
Does
channel.
anyone else do that? Does anyone do that right now?
I don't know. It's kind of an
We
interesting
could be
idea.
the originators.
I don't know if I'm informed enough to really do that, but hey, will I be informed enough? You're gonna find out.
You're gonna find out
Next time on Scroodlebumbs.
Russian collusion.
No collusion. No collusion.